The connell and Cushing suture patterns are generally done in continuous fashion, and in general I begin each of them by performing a simple interrupted suture. It is very difficult on this daisy to actually perform a Cushing pattern because of how thin the intestinal wall is, and so I will demonstrate and purposely not try to penetrate the lumen, but it's very difficult to do that technique. And so if there's any suture material in the lumen, obviously that's a connell suture pattern. If there is not suture material in the lumen, it's a Cushing pattern. To begin, I would begin right at the very end of the incision with a simple interrupted suture. Once again, I'm going to use my trusty assistant, and it's very helpful to maintain even tension to have an assistant surgeon. Obviously for practice you may not have that luxury, but in life it's really nice to have an assistant. Now both the connell and Cushing are horizontal sutures. You take about 3 or 4 millimeters from the incision edge, and you're doing a horizontal bite. In this case, I'm deliberately trying not to penetrate the lumen, so I'm constructing a Cushing suture. And so I pull this through, and I'm going to come across the wound and do a similar bite on this side of the incision. And as I pull this snug, you will see that it will invert the intestinal wall. Again, this is a very nice suture to achieve serosa to serosa contact. And you will notice that a difference between the Cushing and connell and the Lembert is that as you pull this snug and get inversion, you cannot see the suture. The suture itself is buried using this horizontal technique, Cushing or connell suture pattern. So one of the advantages, potential advantages at least theoretically, is that you have less suture material exposed by using one of these connell or Cushing or horizontally directed patterns. One of the disadvantages is that you have the tendency to invert, or you have the tendency to invert more of the intestinal wall. Again, a very nice technique to achieve good inversion of the intestinal wall. Now to end this suture pattern, what I do, you can always tie just across the bowel, but I will reverse my needle, take a backhand suture bite, and tie back to that loop. It's always fair to end by just tying back to the loop of your last suture, however. So, without penetrating the lumen, it's a Cushing suture pattern. With penetrating the lumen, it's a connell.